emotions have been filtered down into what they do, not exactly what they are. There are 3 categories of the way emotions work. There's affect. According to Sigurd and Gray, affect is a persistent proof of a body's nevertheless an ongoing immersion in and among the world. Obstinances and rhythms is refusals as much as its invitations. There's immersion. Immersion, which according to Dyson is a state in which the player or spectator temporarily suspends their disbelief and willingly transports themselves into the realized world of the creator. Kind of like when you're watching a movie and you completely lose track of time because you believe that you are in fact in that world and not in real life. And then of course there's emotional labor, which can simply be explained by looking at an air hostess having to manage being less than petty and being very polite, even though she's surrounded by rude customers and or passengers. So as a group, we decided to do a scene-by-scene breakdown of the Black Mirror episode 15 Million Credits, looking at the way the characters relate to the environments and how their emotions are affected by it.
Impressive.
Hochschild argues that the feeling is a kind of pre-scripted to action. It is internal behavior that we engage in which prepares us to act externally with the job we are faced with. Thus, there is a clear link between how we feel and how we act to specific jobs. In the episode, there is a constant urge for the characters to continuously be watching TV. TV, which is seen to us as play, something that we do for fun, in the episode is seen as work. The characters have to manage their feelings and expressions to fulfill the requirements of their job. When the characters stop doing their job, they would be punished with loud noises and have merits deducted, which is for them as another form of money.
Before you go on, you need to drink a compliance.
Yeah, they give me one back there.
Really? Oh, okay.
There is a constant disregard for their feelings. It is highlighted through the fact that they have to take a drink called compliance, stripping them of any choice or thought that is not mediated. Looking at it from a political stance, hegemonic control plays a big role in reinforcing the idea that they are not in full control of their actions, as their actions are somewhat controlled, of which this stance allows the audience to feel empathy. Sarah said it best in her theory: the passion of negative attachments to others is redefined simultaneously as a positive attachment, brought together through the repetition of the signifier.
Oh, I suppose we better see it. Okay.
You can see that these people are surrounded by visuals and ideas of constantly feeling overwhelmed. Bing is an example. He catches feelings for a girl and gives all of his merits to her to audition for a show. He's then broke and works to save up to buy another ticket to appear on the show. Bing gives an emotive speech to the judges on the corruption of the system upon people in society. The audience watch this and are observing his story and behaviour and possibly reacting to the events as he does when he gave that speech. Mark, Oatley, Andrejik and Mullin believe that when one reads a piece of non-fiction, one wants to be informed, but when one reads a novel, short story or poem or watches a TV show, they want to be moved, which is how the audience feel when watching Bing go through his emotions.
During this episode, it can be denoted that the political is personal. Through the phenomenological perspective, we can understand that Bing takes the actions of the judges to Abby personal. In the words of Kant, even though all our cognition starts with experience, that doesn't mean that all arise from experience. This showcases Bing's emotions as being sensationalized and having arisen from him having a subjective understanding of his personal experience, therefore making his retaliation political.
According to Sarah Ahmed, in this clip, the effect of fear does not reside in a particular object or sign, in this case the sign being the broken glass that he uses to harm himself, but fear slides across signs and bodies. Fear is not only what he can do to himself, but the effect it has on those watching, and they perpetuate fear itself. This sliding becomes stuck only temporarily on the glass pointed towards him. The backwards movement is objects of fear becoming substituted for each over time.
This relates as the main character being overwhelmed with emotion to the point where he is ready to harm himself for justification of his people. Empathy is felt amongst the crowd. At this point, this is where we believe his emotions are understood by the judges and the audience alike, as they know that their obedient behaviour and abusive nature cause all these effects, all highlighted by a hurt man who wants change. However, when his emotional stance is challenged, he takes the offer. To finalise, the emotions conveyed in various scenes are quite important, simply because genuine emotion is hardly ever shown. However, when it is, the characters feel as if they're in control, but they are completely manipulated to suit the high power's agenda.